Go ahead.
Chapter 19, The Return. For a long time, Poppy gazed at the lifeless body of Mr. Okex. She thought she should be feeling triumphant joy. Plain gladness would have been good enough. Somewhere she did feel pride. But small as she was, it was buried deep. What Poppy felt was weariness, as if she had aged 4 seasons over the last hour. She felt old. Before her on the grass lay one of Mr. Okax's feathers. Poppy had never really looked at an owl's feather. This one was quite lovely. It was a mottled brown color with a white tuft on top, soft as any baby's breath. She picked it up. In the breeze, the veins stirred slightly. With a sigh, Poppy slipped the feather into her sash. Then she turned and looked at the cornfield. At first she thought what she most desired was to lie down and sleep. It was growing dark, but a moment's thought made her realize sleep was impossible. What she needed to do was tell someone about her discoveries and what had happened. She crossed the dirt road and moved along the edge of the forest. There was enough of the porcupine's lingering scent for Poppy to find the trail that Erith had used to go from his home to the field. For once, and it made her smile, she was grateful for the old fellow's stink. Plunging directly into Dimwood Forest, Poppy traveled slowly, methodically, taking the time for proper precautions. Now and again she paused to absorb the lush view. The way moonlight filtered through the fragrant air. A very tall tree, a particularly beautiful fern, a bush laden with blackberries as big as her head. When Poppy reached Erith's log, she paused long enough to contemplate Mr. Okex's now abandoned snag. Who, she wondered, would live in it now?
Sidonia, please come to the front office, please.
Erith, she called into the log from the entryway. Are you home? Erith! In response, there was some scratching and snorting deep within. That's you, Erith? Who the snail squirt is that? Came the growled reply. Can't a creature have any privacy around here? Beat it, unless you want to eat a quill sandwich. Erith, it's me, Poppy. Who? Don't you remember? Poppy. Poppy, came the echo, with more enthusiasm than before. A great rattling and shuffling could be heard. Then Erith's grisly flat face loomed out of the darkness. That really you, girl? Where is it? Where is what? The salt. Didn't you bring it? Erith, it's about Mr. Okax. I don't give a flea's flick for that jerk of an owl. Where's the salt you promised me? It's there, by Newhouse. All broken up on the ground. On the ground! Erith shrieked. What's it doing there? Erith, I couldn't carry it. And besides, on the ground, great snail swaddle. It'll melt to nothing. The porcupine came barreling by so fast. Poppy had to leap aside. The next moment, he was all but running down the trail. Can I sleep here? Poppy called after him. Can't stop to talk, Erith called back, and indeed, he was gone. Poppy stepped into the log, lay down, and was asleep at once. She slept until the sun was high, when When she woke, Erith had not yet returned. So she went out, found some seeds, ate them, returned to the log, and slept again until dusk. This time when she awoke, Erith was there. He was chewing in a roisterous, slobbering way on a chunk of salt. "Hello," Poppy said. Erith didn't even look up. "Delicious. Best salt I ever had." He licked his lips. "Awesome." "Then you got some of it?" "Some of it, all of it. I'm just about ossified. This is the last bit. It was all pure, wonderful salt. Absolutely delicious, amazing, divine." "Erith, what's that?" "Did you see Mr. Oakex?" "Yeah. Him? Dead? What happened?" Poppy told him. The porcupine, though busy with the salt, slowed his slobbering to listen. When Poppy finished her story, she asked Erith, "What do you think?" Erith shook his head. "Never thought I'd appreciate that owl's hard head. But what you say is true. It is. Well, I'm grateful he broke up this salt lick, really, Poppy. It's incredible stuff. Want some? I mean, a small taste? Erith, what's that?" "I'm going home now. May I come back and visit?" "Sure, Poppy, sure. Anytime. And bring some salt." "I'm going now." "Poppy!" "What?" "You're the salt of the earth." Poppy crossed Glitter Creek by using the bridge. The rest of the way she traveled by the side of the tar road. By the time she reached Gray House, it was late. The first thing she noticed was that the red flag was flying. She climbed the porch steps slowly. Instead of going right inside, she took a peek. The entire family was gathered in the front parlor. Lungwort stood atop the old straw hat, apparently in the middle of a speech. "And so, dear friends, we will have to break up the family. Yes, disperse, go our separate ways, forage on our own. There is insufficient food for us here. But first I wish to engage in a brief memorial tribute to our full family, which..." "Poppy? Is that you, Poppy?" She stepped inside. All the mice turned to stare. Poppy gazed at them evenly. Then she pulled the feather, Mr. Oakex's feather, from her sash and held it aloft for all to see. "Mr. Oakex is dead," she said solemnly. "And I can tell you that new house is right next to a big field of corn that has enough to feed us all forever and ever." "Ah, Poppy!" Lungwort cried triumphantly. "Didn't I say that if you listened to